All right, trigger warning. Gonna try a CV Carb, which has been modified, and got one of these $10 eBay special manifold adapters, so it should have the same spacing as the S&S. And we'll give it a go and see how she rides. This thing was not perfect, or, well, let's see. The carb might not have been perfect because it wouldn't go on easy, which is not a bad thing. You do want a really tight fit. I had to do some dremeling just to get the edges, I guess, perfectly round, and then got it on with a hand and a little rubber mallet, and it's on there. It's secure. Could it come off? Yeah, you could get this off if need be. We'll have to check to make sure we got it perfectly level, but honestly, who cares? I don't care if I'm a half a degree off or something like that. I'm sure the float will manage. Only main thing you need to change so far that I realized, these are the bolts that go to the S&S manifold. And they're clean through on the one side and then they're threaded. This one takes a smaller 5/16 by 18 threads. So you need, I think these are 2-inch. I might tell my wife that's 5-inch, but yeah, that's we'll see how this goes. All right, so we got this all hooked up now. Give you a good look here. CV Carb. We got the spacer in there, phenolic spacer. We haven't figured out what we're doing with the choke yet, because it wouldn't have enough room if installed on the top. So probably do something straight out, or I have a short one coming out that'll just go out horizontal. Had to get new cables. There just wasn't enough length, oddly enough, with the cables. Got a $50 set that sort of works. Goes in great on the throttle side, but the return side on this is threaded, and this is just slightly too wide. But I got the slack taken out, so it's working. It'll work for now, and I could put a thread on this with some effort. So we're just gonna run it because I don't want to wait for another set of cables. Yeah, so we're all hooked up. Fuel, so things you'll need: longer fuel line, because this input is in a different spot than the S&S. You might need new throttle cables, especially if you have some higher bars, or it just didn't feel like they had enough slack in there, even maxed out. And yeah, you'll have to do something with the choke, which we'll work on, but I've already did a quick test. But she runs 2 cracks and turned on. Fuel's been running. Oop. So not enough. Yeah, she's cold. But if I pull the choke out, same thing. Fires right up. Sounds really smooth. Gotta be honest, sounds a bit smoother than the S&S, which when I had the choke out sort of made a weird sound. So I don't know if there was a leak or something. Also, I'll just pull away for a second. The CV style allows for a little more flexibility with the amount of choke, or at least it's easier. So So obviously you don't want your, I'll move the I'll move the choke, obviously, because you don't want to have your hand there when you get a backfire. But otherwise, yeah, she's running. I also have a little hanger just to keep the fuel line off the engines. And I have on the original, I'll show you, I had plumbed in a filter, which worked. And this had a hook that comes off the one of the screws, one of the mounting bolts. So yeah, some fuel line, throttle cable, the $10 eBay adapter, choke kit of some sort. What am I missing? Oh yeah, and the bolts, the 5/16 by 18 2-inch bolts for the intake manifold screws. So basically the mounting bolts, because the ones that come stock are not going to be big enough. So we'll give this a go in a little bit. Let it warm up.